Hey guys, Dabu7, some updated information here on what's going on at this Hanford site. I have someone that lives up here very near this facility in the Tri-City there around Richmond that hopped in the car and was driving up toward this area and said there's two Chinooks basically positioned in the sky floating around, and there's a no-fly zone. So they have Chinooks positioned over the facility on each side, it looks like. This kind of overseeing things, and all the word we got right now is that they're going to start to try to fix this thing. Now, the folks that sent this in to me here, yeah, they say those are war copters. They could drop troops. They're right, and they're just sitting there floating around on the other side of that ridge where the facility is, and it's got them wondering, okay, what's really going on? Because their local news isn't saying much. They did say local news made mention of an explosion, but that's something I guess they witnessed on TV. I don't have a link or any confirmation on that. But that's the first time I've heard that, and that is from a local that sent me this footage. So the people that work there are told at this point, do not show up. They've canceled work in certain areas because of the recovery actions. So this is interesting to note because they're calling this recovery actions, not just filling a hole like they said last night with dirt, which raised a lot of questions. And this is an aerial shot down into the hole. There's actually helicopter footage that you can look up and you can see where they fly over and around this thing. And you can see that this is a full collapse in. This isn't like the earth sunk in and the sand is just, or the earth, the dirt is just kind of sunk in. This is a full collapse. And you can see the walls on the inside, the shadow all the way down. And from the other shots, it looks like a beam down here. It looks kind of squared off actually, like maybe a whole section gave way of the roof and just collapsed, which means that this was exposed to open air. And it's the one thing they're not stating at this point. They're trying to say, oh, the radiation levels are fine, although they're not allowing anyone else back up in here. And I have people asking me, how do we know? How do we know? Well, water samples downstream from on the Columbia there would be nice. And anyone with a Geiger counter anywhere close that could get some readings, that would be critical. Any readings. As close as you could get. You're not going to be able to get too close, but I mean, look at the wind patterns. Look at what's going on in the area. If you do live there, if you do have a Geiger counter, that information's vital. If we want to try to get a beat on what's really going on. Now, what I'm most concerned about here is in New Mexico at the WIP facility. Quite a few years back, there was a similar situation. Their underground facility had a roof collapse that damaged product. And it's still an ongoing issue to this day that they just keep their mouth shut about. Well, after this happened, all the sensors throughout the network, the RAD network, were taken offline. Then they were brought back up. And then we seen a small, looked like a little spike that was going up throughout the Northeast. What was a day later, they admitted there was a release. And it just so happened to be when all of those things went down. And they try to say, oh, it wasn't much. And I know that they're lying. I knew that they were lying about that event. And when it comes to this event, this isn't underground, so to speak, in a labyrinth or like 5 levels down where the roof has collapsed. This is right there, exposed to open air. So, from what I know, they're stating they're trying to fix this thing. I've talked about in other videos all kinds of other circumstances, the schematics, the whole layout of the tunnel, how it was supposed to have a metal lining, how I went over every single trailer that is in there, the radiation levels, the amounts, all that. So if you guys missed those videos, make sure to check them out. I will continue to update via Twitter, at Dabu7 on Twitter. Hit me up, at Dabu7yahoo.com. If you got anything you want me to add to this, shout outs to those that sent me this information here. Frontline, showing that we've got Chinooks floating over the area here, kind of watching over what's happening. And I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to note that this work cancellation over here says it's a recovery. And that kind of counters just filling the thing with dirt. So I'll update with more as I come across it. It's been Dabu7. Peace.